fucking way. Throwing bets like haymakers. UFC fight night, no faking these heartbreakers. Punch stats, bankrolls, and scorecards never fold. Etoft21sports talking bold like this catch and goal. Erik saying underdogs got swagger. Weight counter champs got a clan and jaw won't stagger. Money on the line, bets as sharp as a dagger. Hot tops, bling, flashing lights, heavyweight bagger. Etoft21 clash of minds, no surprise. Erik Blade in the ring, shouting on, shooting high. Fight night dreams, cold cash gleam in their eyes. Betting broad, UFC calls on the podcast skies.
We have reached the part of the podcast where we're talking some UFC, and who better come on than Wade, better known as Top Flight Picks on social media. Wade, how are you doing today, my man?
I am fantastic, Erik. Glad to be back here. Let's get this started. I'm excited about this card.
Sneaky good card. Tomorrow is a sneaky good sports day. We got college football, we got NBA, we got NHL, we got UFC, and got the Breeders' Cup. I'm going to be down at the OTB in Oak Lawn Park. You guys see me there. Come over. I will buy you a Miller Lite. I'll shoot the shit with you, and you can hear me yell at horses that lose me money.
I wish I could be there.
Always a good time. Always a good time.
It is.
And I'm not going to lie, for those watching on the YouTube channel, I really feel that intro pumps me up the most out of all the intros I've done.
Yeah. I love it.
Let's talk some fights. I actually have a horse race going on right now. So you're going to kick us off, man. What is your first fight?
My first fight is a parlay. I took Mike Malott, and I paired him with Youssef Zalal. That came to -105 on Bet365. When you lose the way Mike Malott did in his last fight, you wonder if you can really trust a fighter. But being KO'd by Neil Magny within the last minute of a fight isn't the worst blemish on a fighter's card. I love to back a fighter coming off some adversity, and Malott is that perfect example. He had won his first 3 UFC fights by knockout, submission, and submission. He's 10-2-1 with all 10 wins coming by finish. He can beat you with striking, both with hands and kicks, and he can also take you down and control you for 3 rounds. Malott should get the victory with much less skilled grappler he's got on his hands. And then I'm taking Youssef Zalal. Since he returned to the UFC, he has been on a tear. When you get cut from the UFC and you get a second chance, you hope to make the best for it, and that's kind of what he did here. He's on a 2-0 winning streak with 2 submission wins, I believe, inside. Both of them have been inside the second round. So it looks like he's got a new leash on his career. I like him to beat Shore anywhere in this fight. I don't expect Jack to want to grapple very much with Zalal. Zalal is very patient. He picks his shots and he finds his path. I think he can get the victory here. So I like those two paired together.
I like that. I like that a lot. My first one, and maybe I'm a homer. Give me D-Lew. Give me Lewis +140. This one's crazy because when you're watching the fight, I really feel Lewis actually has the advantage in grappling. And we've seen him attempt some takedowns, get this to the ground. Diaz, this is his 3rd fight in the UFC. I kind of feel this is a big step up in class. He hasn't faced anyone with the power and the balls to the wall fighting style. I will say that Lewis is going to go at Lewis's ground and pound is absolutely lethal. He's got more power. Diaz is great on the ground, but if Lewis is able to use this power, get this to the ground, and just ground and pound, I don't think Diaz has been hit like this before. So I'm going to take Lewis +140. I think the difference, as crazy as it sounds, is his freaking grappling.
I don't mind it. He's definitely a live dog in this position. Whenever you get an experienced fighter like him going up against a much less experienced, undefeated guy, nonetheless. These are kind of those spots you look for, man. So I like it. Good dog money spot here.
Next one, my friend.
I am going with the straight. I took Amir Sahabi. Ayman here, he's not the most impressive UFC fighter, to say the least, but I have liked what I've seen from him in multiple fights. He kind of goes on this every other fight streak, so every other fight he finishes. Every other fight he goes to a decision, and it's a sweaty one, to say the least. His first round finishes of Rodriguez and Erikling were slick, and he has that in his bag at any moment. He is 36 years old, fighting a 38-year-old Munoz. But in terms of fighting miles, Zahabi only has 13 professional fights compared to Munoz's 29. Munoz is very durable. He's never been finished in those 29 fights, and though I don't expect to finish here, it is possible with Munoz's wear and tear. He's just been in quite a few battles, and just the right shot can pretty much put a guy down, even if he hasn't been knocked out before. Like I said, every other fight, Zahabi seems to find another gear, and this is that fight. His last fight finished in a submission, or in a decision. So if the pattern holds true, he might be finding a submission here. I see the fight staying on the feet for the most part. I don't really see either one of these trying to take each other down. They both have solid takedown defense. I just don't think Munoz is going to be able to handle Zahabi's power, and I think he's going to have the bigger moments in this fight. Probably a decision victory, probably pretty close.
I like it, man. I like it. Got a big price here.
Nice.
Dustin Delotez by submission plus 750. I feel this is only his path to victory. It's no secret how this is going to go. Marc-Andre is going to look to keep this on the ground and use his very dangerous striking. Now, I know Dustin got knocked out his last fight, but after reading some articles, he said how he abandoned his game plan of looking to get this to the ground. After reading that, I feel it's going to be a real concentrated effort from him to use his wrestling, use his grappling, get this to the ground. He's got 6 wins in the UFC. No, sorry, 6 submission wins, 2 in his career. Half of his UFC wins have been by submission. Marc-Andre has been submitted in the past, and to say his grappling game is poor is an understatement. Dustin has a huge advantage in the grappling. Once he gets this to the ground, I think it's only a matter of time before he is able to get Marc-Andre into a submission. I'm seeing plus 750. Too good to pass up. If you guys are scared, think it's going to go to a submission, just play him on the money line. You can get good dog money there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If you're going to place a bet on this one, I think that's probably the best one, because I don't think he's going to win, but if he does win, it's going to be by submission.
It's his only path. It's his only path to victory.
Yep.
Next
no
one.
argument there.
And we're going head to head. Lay it on me.
Yeah, this is probably my least favorite play. This is a very light sprinkle that I gave out to my members. Something that I think is doable, and I think the price is crazy. I think this. I think everybody in the world is expecting a finish on one side or the other inside 1.5 rounds. That's possible, very possible, obviously, with both power on both sides. But if it doesn't, if it gets past 1.5 rounds, I think they're just going to wear on each other, probably lay on each other on the ground. Derek Lewis has attempted takedowns in, I think, 8 straight fights, multiple takedowns. So I don't see him I think at the beginning of the fight, they're probably going to go outside and just bang each other. Derek Lewis likes to engage and bring out that brawl in you. But Jonata Deniz is very slick. He's very quick for his size. He's going to be the faster fighter here. He's going to have the quicker techniques. And I think he's going to be smart enough to avoid that power. So if he can keep his distance, try to pick his shots. Derek Lewis is quick. He's big. If he gets on you, he might just grab him and just trip him down like he did his last opponent. But I think Deniz has what it takes to survive on the ground. Sure, ground and pounds live on any of these guys. I mean, we could obviously see a quick knockout here, but I think plus 700 on a decision for Deniz is very valuable. If this thing goes the distance, I think he's going to be the winner. I don't think Lewis can win the decision, so I just think Deniz is too young. He's got too much. They both have power, so if Deniz can avoid the power, he's going to probably get off more shots, more looks. He's going to be the more active fighter. Just survive. If he can survive this, give enough damage back, because he's going to take some. I don't know. This is one of those plays if you played it right, I think you could wager on Derek Lewis the plus 140 money line, and then if you wanted to sprinkle on this, you could possibly do it enough, lay enough on both sides where you could profit either way.
Yeah.
I did that with the Rose and Blanchfield fight also, because I think Rose is going to win a decision, but if it finishes inside, Blanchfield is going to finish inside. So I'm trying to find kind of good value on both sides and making profit out of what's going to happen. So this fight card, man, almost every fight is honestly a toss up. It can really go either way depending on
sneaky fight card. It's a sneaky,
it's tough, really tough
for just a random free one on ESPN. Now, to my last bet, and brother, you know what my motto is, right?
Shoot or shoot, man.
Life is a numbers game, right? You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And I'm taking Erin Blanchfield by submission at plus 450. Look, I absolutely love Thug Rose. I wish she had some hair, then I'd really love her.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love Thug Rose, but I feel she's too small for this division. Tracy Cortez was able to bully her around, was able to get her to the ground.
Yep.
And it forced Rose to grapple. Historically, that's not what she looks to do. She looks to stand and throw, but she was getting bullied around. She had to change her game plan, look to grapple more. She's not going to be able to do that with Blanchfield, who will have the reach, 3 inches, the size, and the power advantage. Blanchfield's going to look to push forward. Think of Mackenzie Dern. She's basically Mackenzie Dern. You know what I mean? Push forward, get up in the cage, look to get this to the ground. Also, with this being a 5-round fight, she's going to constantly be on top of Rose. This is going to be the best grappler Rose has fought in a while. I think she's going to be able to get to it. Look, 3 of her last 4, she's won by submission. Give me Blanchfield plus 450 by submission, my friend.
I like Rose, man. I like Rose here. She's more experienced. She's slicker. I think she's just going to be able to get enough. Wow, it's just tough because that Blanchfield last fight, man, she got off so much volume, but it's going to be tough. She's going to be chasing around Rose. I think if Rose is smart enough, she won't get hit as much.
Well, I mean, I think
it's tough.
I think the bigger question is, what'd you think of the video?
Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, I don't think Blanchfield has that much power. I don't think Rose is going to be that worried about it. I think Rose will probably win by a decision, but
I think she's just going to do so much of just the pushing forward. It's just going to be way too much for her, and she's just going to smother her. And I don't think she can grapple. I think once this gets into a grappling exchange, I think there's a huge discrepancy.
I don't know. She fought Wei Li, and Wei Li's way tougher than Blanchfield, and she held her own there. So I don't know. It's tough. This one's tough, man. Blanchfield hasn't really
a little bit a higher weight class though.
She's not much experienced yet, so we'll see. It's tough. This is one of those fights I probably shouldn't even have wagered on. I should just watch it. Yeah. Me and Buddy were looking at the card, and the Blanchfield to win inside the distance, decision, no action is
it's tempting.
That's the play I took along with Rose money line plus money. So there's 2 ways I profit and 2 ways I don't. So I'm hoping one of the 2 ways I profit cash. Because I just think it's tough.
I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, coming on, talking some UFC. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, just come join me on X_Top Flight Picks. I give out free picks every day, usually in article form or video form of some sort. So come check me out. I got a free membership. Come check me out in the link in bio. So I appreciate coming on. I always love talking UFC with you, man.
Appreciate my man. Make sure to give my boy Wade a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, the links to all this stuff is in the description below. We'll talk next week, my friend.
See you.